Okay, this is Malacosa, and you're watching episode 13 of the ManuFactory. 13, an unlucky number. We've temporarily stopped our quarry because it's been generating so much cobble. I actually had to reconfigure a third barrel as cobble, and we need a solution to that because I really don't want to have massive amounts of barrels of cobble, but I do want to keep it because it's going to be useful in the future. So we don't want this cobble to go to waste, but I need some way to store it efficiently. One of the best ways to do this, barrels are from Factorization. There is an upgrade to barrels called the Extra Dimensional Storage Upgrade. The recipe for it is dark iron ingots with blaze rods, some ender pearls, a barrel, and some leather. So let's go upstairs and I will be right back once I've collected all the parts to make that happen. Okay, and we're back and we're trying to craft some extra dimensional storage upgrades for our barrels downstairs in our quarry. So we're going to make 7 of them, so we need 7 leather, some ender pearls, some blaze rods, and some barrels, of course. But first, we need to make some dark iron. Now, dark iron is made from blocks of iron that are ignited with something called a wrath igniter, which is a tool from Factorization. Here's the recipe. It's made from a single nether brick and a diamond shard. Diamond shards are quite expensive. You need 4 obsidian, 4 TNT, and a block of diamond. So making a block of diamond actually requires either 4 blocks of gold using a minium stone, or what I did was use 9 diamonds in one of our compressors, and that worked fine. What we need to do though is we also need a craft packet maker and stamper from Factorization. The maker is created from just cobblestone, a crafting table, and a piston. And the stamper is created from basically the same with a bit of iron as well. So we need to place these 2 blocks down. What we have to do is make a craft packet to basically blow up that block of diamond into diamond shards, which we will then use. So there's the maker and there's the stamper, and we're going to click on the maker here. And I just realized I don't know how to use this block, so I do know that we can craft this packet in a regular crafting table, so let's just do that. Okay, so here we are, and what we need is a block of diamond and 4 TNT in a square and some obsidian to fill it in, and I think I've got this recipe right. Oh, no, I don't. It's obviously the other way around, so let's try that. And there we go, there's our craft packet all ready for us. We'll make another one of these using the craft packet, but for now we'll just take it over to our maker. And all you need to do is put it in there, and boom! And there you go, 18 diamond shards. Cool, very useful. Let's take these diamond shards over to our chest here and get ourselves a few wrath igniters made. Wrath igniters are quite useful. Besides being able to cook blocks in place, their main secondary use is in the creation of wrath lamps, as seen here. Wrath lamps produce a huge amount of light, and once our quarry is finished digging, we'll definitely be making a few of these to make that big hole safe to work in. But right now I just want my nether bricks and some blocks of iron, and we're going to create our wrath igniters. We're only going to create 2 right now. And then what we need to do is we need to find a safe spot, preferably somewhere away from your house or anything burnable. And we're going to put down these blocks of iron that we crafted in a previous episode. I'm just going to lay them down right here in a nice big row. Now to make iron blocks, you can either use a block of gold with your minium stone, or just put 9 iron ingots into a compressor again as usual. Okay, we're just going to lay down the rest of our iron blocks here. And again. And again. We should probably just pick this one up and make this thing square. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our wrath igniter, and we're going to ignite these. You'll see a nice kind of magical fire here. Now stay away from this. This will light you on fire, and anything else for that matter. Eventually what it's doing is it's converting the iron blocks into dark iron blocks, as you can see there. We'll wait until all are finished converting. There we go. We'll get our pickaxe. And the other thing is, this is why we don't do this anywhere near something burnable, because it will ignite the entire area on fire. Now, fire mechanics have been kind of nerfed in the later builds, so it's not as dangerous as it used to be, but still, you don't want to do this in your house. So we'll put all these fires out, and then we'll mine up all of this dark iron. Now, dark iron blocks will create 4 dark iron ingots, so it's not quite one-to-one with iron ingots, but it's still pretty good. And this should give us a fair amount of dark iron to work with. So let's finish just mining up all of this stuff here. And there we are. And you just take your dark iron, put it in a crafting, and you get 4 per, and there's 2 stacks of dark iron. So let's go back here and we'll use this to make our extra dimensional barrel upgrades. We'll go to our fabricator here, and we'll get the recipe here for extra dimensional upgrade. And I'll clear this out, and we'll put in all of our materials. And yeah, there we go. And there's 7 of them. Excellent. So we're going to take the rest of this dark iron and put it away. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to go downstairs here. And we're going to install these extra dimensional upgrades into our barrel and turn our quarry back on. And our ladders are all screwy here from the quarry. And it looks like our power, we need more power, so we'll have to figure that out as well. So basically what you do is you go to your barrel and you just right click on it with your extra dimensional portal, and bingo, you can see these darker corners here. Basically what the upgrade does is, instead of 64 stacks of a single item, the barrel will now be able to record 1024 stacks. So what we're going to do is we're just going to very quickly put these on the rest of our barrels, like so, and we're done. One thing to note, if you do destroy your barrels, you will get the upgrade back, so you're not wasting these upgrades by putting them in, and they're very useful. So now we should be able to turn our quarry back on. We'll go over here and plug it back in, and now we should see all of this cobblestone going into the second barrel. Now note, you will get the double exclamation marks, which means the barrel is storing more than 64 stacks of the item. If you were to destroy the barrel, you are only going to get the first 64 stacks back, so be aware of that. So 2 issues right now. One is energy. Our energy is getting really low, and we need to solve that. Probably hooking it up directly would probably be a better way to do this. And probably another thing we should consider is making some more redstone energy cells, because we really don't have a lot of these, and it would probably be nice to have a bigger bank of energy. Our other concern is that although we're not getting a lot of items going past these barrels, we will get some, and they're going to end up in our diamond chests here. Now, diamond chests are pretty big, as you can see, but eventually this is going to fill up. Now, this diamond chest should be big enough for 1 or maybe 2 of these quarries. I mean, we are digging out quite a bit, but eventually it will fill up, and there is a much better solution that we can come up with. Eventually what I'd like to do is take all the items that are going into this diamond chest and get them teleported or transported up to the top. Preferably have them sorted and processed automatically, and that way we wouldn't have anything downstairs here. I'd prefer not to have anything downstairs, because all of this is going to get quarried out eventually. But I think first what we need to do is solve our energy crisis. We are running low here, as you can see. I think the best thing to do is just connect this directly to upstairs. So let me do that and I will be right back. Okay, so here we are putting the last of our conduit. Basically what we've done is we've taken this all the way upstairs. As you can see, it's kind of getting kind of weird. In fact, it might be a little bit difficult now navigating these ladders, so I might have to fix that. Anyway, this goes all the way upstairs and through a small hole here, and then through here, and all the way along here, back to where our batteries will be. And our engines are on, so the quarry should be driven pretty much by these engines now, but let's just relocate those batteries and fix up this grass, and I'll be right back. Okay, while I was up here, I noticed that some of my chests, specifically the ore chest, was getting quite full, and so I decided now would be a good time to upgrade them to diamond chests. The easiest way to do that is to do it in place using the gold to diamond chest upgrade, which there's the recipe you can see here, fairly simple. So I'm just getting that done. There's another one over here. Might as well do that as well. And cleaned up this area a bit, and I thought now would be a good time to show you how to measure the electrical and Minecraft joule power that's going through these wires. There's two instruments you can use to that. From Industrial Craft 2, there's the EU reader, and from Thermalcraft, there's the multimeter. So basically the way these works is fairly similar. What we do is we just pick a piece of wire or even a machine. In this case, I'm going to pick this piece of wire, and you just right click. I'll start a new measurement. You right click again, and sure enough, it's going to show us that we're getting a total of 200 EU per tick, which is exactly what we should be getting with 10 geothermal generators. And then we can do the same using the multimeter on the Thermalcraft energy conduit. So again, it's going to monitor for 20 ticks. You just right click, and I believe right clicking again will tell you the average distribution, which is 0 in this case, which seems kind of strange. So maybe I will right click down here. It's also going to show you the network saturation, which is how much energy is in the entire network. If it's at 100%, I think that means your network is completely full. But I could be wrong. I was hoping it would. I obviously don't know how to use this multimeter effectively. I will put a link in the description on how to use the multimeter better. But let's just check out our quarry and see what happens here. Yeah, see, we're getting an energy requested. Huh, curious. Monitoring for 20 ticks on the join here. And there we go. So it's basically do it on the connection. And as you can see here, it's requesting 50 megajoules, which is exactly about how much I would expect from a quarry going at full speed. So right now our energy is pretty much being used consistently and very effectively, and we don't have to stop. We should almost take a visit to the Nether just to see how bad we have sucked out all of that lava. We still don't have a good way of storing lava yet. You can store lava, or for that matter, any liquid, in tanks, and we will get to that once that quarry is completed. But let's just go to our lava facility and check out how bad we're sucking out this lava. I'm just going to temporarily break some of this glass. Hopefully it won't fall down. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see those patches there, right over here, and right over here. That's where all the lava's been sucked out. I would expect to see the same thing over on these sides. And sure enough, you can barely see it. I should make a viewing platform out here so that I don't have to jump up like a fool. Yeah, and there's another one over there. So yeah, we're just going full tilt here. These engines aren't on. They won't turn on very much. because of course this energy cell is basically always full. And the pumps actually aren't pumping out very much because the geothermal generators don't use a lot of lava. So let's just go back to the overworld and figure out how to sort items. Now there's lots of ways to sort and store items. Right now we've been mainly using just, as you can see, diamond chests to store our items. But what I want to do is I want to use the barrels from Factorization to store our items and also sort them. Now since the barrels can only hold one type of item, obviously if we can find a way to insert items into all of these barrels at once, then that would act as a storage medium. Now there is a way to do this. Factorization has a nice little piece of gear called a router. Now routers and their associated upgrades are very powerful blocks. Here's the recipe for the router. It's basically ender pearl, egg, and an eye of ender. Eye of enders, of course, are made from ender pearls and blaze powder. Routers can be used and configured basically to insert items into a large number of connected blocks, either machines or chests or anything basically that has an inventory. As long as they're all connected together contiguously, the router will be able to see them and either extract or insert items into them. Now, the other thing we've made to help us transfer items up here, because obviously the router we're going to have to place somewhere around these barrels, and our quarry's way down there. So we need a way to transfer items from downstairs up to here. The best way to do that, I find, is with ender chests. Now, ender chests are very similar to the ender tanks. In this case, it's just a chest surrounded by some wool, obsidian, and blaze rods. The ender chests themselves do have the standard 3 colors on top. In this case, I've colored these ones black. I've also made a bunch of barrels and some extra dimensional storage upgrades. We're going to use these to help with storing our cobblestone. But the other thing we need is a couple of router upgrades. Now, I'm not going to use the item filter, which will normally it would allow you to filter which items the router pays attention to. So we're not going to use that one, but we will need a machine filter. We'll need a couple of speed boosts, which speed up the processing of the items for the through the router. Thoroughness allows it to basically put items into the nearest container first and fill it up. Bandwidth allows it to do a full stack of items instead of just one at a time, which is, again, really useful for speeding up. And ejector allows the router to actually eject items out the side or the top or bottom of the router, and we'll need one of those. To make these, we're going to need some cakes and some sugar. Cakes are going to need milk, eggs, and sugar. We're also going to need some soul sand. We're going to need some blaze powder and more eggs. And we're going to need just some regular stuff, piston and pressure plates and wood and stuff. But the one thing we will need is a logic matrix. So we'll get into that eventually. But right now what I'm concerned with is eggs and milk. I don't have any way of getting eggs and milk. There are no cows or chickens on this island at all. You may have noticed already that I do have a couple of other items in my inventory right now. Specifically a safari net and a safari net launcher. Now safari nets come from, I want to say, ManuFactory. They are used to basically capture mobs. You basically click the mob with your safari net and it will capture it. The gun, the net launcher, allows you to launch these at a distance. So this is a really nice way of being able to move mobs around as if they are items. There's nothing worse than trying to get a cow to follow you or a chicken to follow you with using grain or seeds. It's just a nightmare. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over to our jungle mining farm, mining age I should say, and sleep through the night here. And I know there are some cows around here, I'm sure of it. And we're just going to eat. I'm sure when I was here before, I saw some cows. And we're going to go use our gun, our safari net launcher, to hopefully capture a couple cows. So I will be right back once we find some cows. Okay, so there's some cows. So basically just get your safari net launcher and shoot the cow. Bang. What happens is the cow disappears and goes into your safari net. You'll notice it lists what type of mob it is and what the health is at. So it's a cow at 10 health. Now the other thing you'll note is these safari nets are made with 4 ender pearls surrounding a gas tier, and these particular safari nets are the reusable ones. There is also a cheaper one which is a single-use safari net, which is just made with leather, some string, and some slime balls. So I might actually make a bunch of those too, because these ones don't seem to be, well, they're certainly not stackable now, but before they didn't seem to be stackable either. So as usual, for breeding cows you need 2 of them. For breeding any animal you need 2. And notice it released, interestingly enough, the cow. I think this is because of the position of the safari nets. Let's just see. Yeah, see, you've got to make sure that the empty one's at the top left portion of your inventory. So we've got 2 cows now, which will be quite enough to start doing some cow breeding. I'm not going to bother automating that right now. There is quite a number of ways to automate the breeding of animals. I only need them right now to make 2 cakes. So that's only 6 milk that I need. So there's no point automating it at this point. But we definitely will automate it. And we'll just take these guys to the overworld. And I made a little pen for them. No, again, nothing fancy. We're just going to put these cows right in here, and there they are. Now we're going to go do the same, and we're going to get some chickens and put them right here, and once I've done that, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, I did have to go to the Twilight Forest to find these, but we did eventually find us some chickens. So there they are. Now the eggs are going to take some while because there's no way to really coax these chickens into laying more eggs. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some seeds, which is what chickens use to reproduce, interestingly enough. And we're just going to get our chickens to reproduce so that we can have more chickens, so that the chances of getting eggs increases. Oh, look at that. They love each other. That's so cute. Oh, and look at that little baby chick. I name you Gosling, little baby chick. And of course, the cows don't do anything with seeds. They just ignore seeds. Hello, little Gosling. Oh, you're so cute. All right, so we need some... I put that torch up there. We need some eggs. We need some milk. So milk is easy. We just get some buckets and we milk the cows until they're so tired they cannot be milked anymore. And where are my buckets? Oh yes, I should probably mention one other thing. I did create a 3rd ender chest, which I've put all of my tools into, and at the same time I created a matching ender pouch, which is created as follows. Now the nice thing about this is I can use the ender pouch to access my ender chest, and you can see here it opened up and there's all of my tools. So I basically can access all of my tools remotely, which is incredibly useful for that odd occasion when I'm building or doing something and I forgot a tool. So I just want to create here a 6th bucket because we're going to get our milk. Poor cows in Minecraft, they're so abused. They can be milked infinitely and can create all kinds of really evil, nasty cow milking machines. Wait a minute. What's going on, guys? Can I not milk you? Am I doing this wrong? Or do I have... Are the fences in the way? Is that what it is? The fence is in the way. Okay, I'll be right back once I figure out why I can't milk cows. Okay, just on the off chance this might have an effect because I did use the safari net to capture these guys and place them down, I bred them. And I just went over and grabbed some wheat and bred the 2 cows with wheat. And as soon as I did that, I was then able to get my milk just by right-clicking using an empty bucket on the cows. So hopefully that will work. I don't see the baby cow though, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. So I'll be right back with the rest of the ingredients for these router upgrades. Okay, so we got all of our ingredients for our upgrades. So let's make them. We're going to make the one ejector upgrade first. We need some wood and some planks. And where did my cobblestone go? Ah, yes, of course. Gonna get our cobblestone. Here we go. And there's our ejector. We need a couple of bandwidth upgrades. Now I did have to go into the nether to get those blaze powders, so just be aware of that. We went to our blaze spawner to farm those. We'll get 2 thoroughness upgrades, and we'll also get a couple of speed boosts. Now, is there a reason why I can only... Ah, yes, I need more sugar. So just be aware, you need sugar for this. Sugar can be made from, of course, reeds. I only need 4 of them, thank you. And there's our upgrades. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some more barrels up here. And then I'm going to go downstairs and deal with our quarry because I'm sure it's overfilling by now. So I'll be right back when I get done with that. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, we've greatly increased the number of barrels up here. As well, I've placed my black ender chest down here, and this is where all of the items to be sorted will be placed. Unfortunately, to use the routers really effectively, we really do need the machine filter, whose recipe is here, and the machine filter requires a logic matrix. Now, unfortunately, the logic matrix requires a logic matrix 9300, a spider eye, and more importantly, a logic matrix programmer. Now, these programmers can only be found in dungeons, and I've been doing some exploring off camera, and I've been unable to find one. So we can't create this item filter upgrade, and without it, this system's really not going to work. So probably what I'm going to do is do a quick montage next episode of me exploring through various dungeons, hoping to find this item. I think that'll be kind of fun. But unfortunately, it looks like it's time to go. This episode, we managed to greatly improve our storage and solve our power and overflow issues for our quarry, at least temporarily. We also got a few cows and some chickens using our nifty new Safari net capture. I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode and learned something new. Please like, subscribe, and leave any comments or suggestions you may have. This has been episode 13 of the ManuFactory with Malakosa, and I'm signing out.